All right, good morning, people, and we're back with another new video on Jason Blaha, the lifting, diet, vegan, fitness gym slave. Yeah, let's review this video. He just popped up this morning. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, plant protein builds just as much muscle as animal protein and lifters. Sure it does. Yes, okay. So there's a lot of vegan compilations out there. Everybody's dropping off the vegan train. Here we go.
Their fake sip investigator comes through, we can say those are real coffee, that's real. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee. You guys see that's real coffee?
Wow, that's real toxic coffee there you're drinking. We all know that coffee's poison. It's probably one of the most sprayed beans too in the world. Pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, got glyphosates on it, sprayed all over it, the beans. And the bean itself is extremely toxic. So the truth is, when you say toxic, what you're saying is poison. Hi guys, I'm poisoning myself on a daily. Well, if you're poisoning the human body with poison on a daily basis, what do you think is happening to you? You are deteriorating faster than you're aging. Like I've mentioned this before in my videos. You stop aging at 25. So the aging process is extremely slow, moving at a crawl space, if anything. And so you're deteriorating faster than you're aging. Get it? You're deteriorating faster than you're aging because you're poisoning yourself every day, breaking the laws of nature. As a carnivore, you are breaking the laws of nature. All this food that you see in the stores are marketing. That doesn't mean a carnivore is going to go and start eating that. It's because plants are drugs. And so you're addicted to these plants because they're drugs. All plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants.
So when the commenter fake sip investigator comes through, we can say those are real coffee, that's real sips.
And here's another thing. You've also been conditioned from a child to eat these plants. That's another problem. So you've been conditioned. And in your mind, you're like, yeah, you've been conditioned. You've really been conditioned, really. You know, it's just like animals. How do you condition them to do certain things? Well, you give them, tease them with food and certain things, whatever, like dogs and stuff. You can condition them to do certain things. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about plant protein. Here's the thing that I'm going to say with this. I've had a number of people try to come through comments and tell me plant proteins are incomplete, they're incapable of building muscle, and here's what I'm going to say. People are not keeping up with the current research. And I want to be clear here. When I say that I'm going plant-based for health purposes,
He's going plant-based for health purposes. No, no, no carnivore animal would say, hey man, I'm going plant-based for health purposes when you already are eating a healthy diet. Your natural diet is the most healthiest diet in the world, which is animal diet. That's the natural diet. It's the healthiest diet. So when he says he's going vegan for health purposes, look at the vegan compilation. They're all leaving veganism because it made them unhealthy.
do not adhere to ethical veganism. I have no
Again, if plants are drugs and all drugs are made from plants and plants have these poisons in them, they're poisonous, then how healthy can that be for you?
moral or ethical bias in this direction. And if anything, historically, I've held often.
Look at your coach. He's getting worse and worse. He wants to convince you that plant proteins are going to build muscles. Does your coach look like he has any muscle on his body? Does he look like he's built any muscle on his body? I could guarantee you, if you were to eat a shitload of animal products, natural animals, every single day, and I mean a lot of it, every day, you'd build your muscle up. You're just not eating enough because you guys have been convinced that, well, I have to eat so much protein a day, 32 grams, da, 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 da. No, you don't. Science has already debunked all that. That it doesn't just throw away 100 grams of protein or something if you overeat protein. That's bullshit. What the protein is used for is to shut off the catabolic hormone, making you anabolic. So now you could build proteins. If proteins are being built up and broken down as you speak, sitting down there watching this video, right? Now, if you go to a gym and you lift weights, well, that's a window for protein breakdown as well. That can echo for the next 24, 42, 48, or whatever, 72 hours. So that can echo for the next 3 days. You're in a breaking down state. So if you keep coming back to the gym, you can shrink yourself. What you need to do is be in an anabolic growth state by protein synthesis needs to exceed the breakdown of those proteins. That's how muscle mass is built. Yeah. It's not built in a gym, lifting a weight. That's not going to do anything for you. I'll get you better at lifting weights. Lifting weights in the gyms get you better at lifting weights. That doesn't build any muscles, bro. Come on.
A very anti-vegan view. I've even had a very harsh view of plant proteins because I used.
He did? When? When was this? I didn't see it. When was that?
I used to look at some old data and say, well, if it's 10 or 20% less effective, then it's useless. We don't need it. Everything should be optimal.
That's right. Everything should be optimal. It's useless. What made him change, I wonder?
Right? It's my previous position.
I think it's because he's on the stamp food. He's on food stamps because his income is disability. There's not enough money there to afford good food.
Years ago. So again, people can't come and say, oh, you're being biased in the data because of your ethical stance, because I don't have an ethical vegan stance. I have no problem at all eating a cow, like zero.
I know. He has an economic stance. That's the problem. He's economically dysfunctional. He's deprived economically, man. So he has to deprive himself of eating animal products because all he can afford is what's in his basket, man. Tofu and a bunch of weird fake pasta, whatever fake food. Let's think about it. If you had money and you could eat whatever you want, what would you want to eat? What would you want to eat? The first thing when I ask people, and I say, man, if you have a lot of money, what would you want to be eating really right now? And I go, would you want to be eating a steak? And they go, yeah, I want to eat a steak. Yeah, they want to eat the best food. They want to eat a steak. They want to eat seafood. They want to eat a steak, whatever. Yeah, man, they want to eat the best food, man. Of course. Look, when I'm in Mexico, I eat marlin. I eat a shitload of marlin. Marlin's difficult to get where I come from. So when I'm there, I eat as much marlin as I can. I love marlin. It's expensive. You know, swordfish. It's expensive fish, bro. Huh. You can't buy that anywhere up here. But they actually get it down there, down in Mexico. They fucking catch it. And they sell it on the beach. Yeah. Cheap actually, if anything. Just crazy. So yeah, think about it. You go try to buy some marlin up here somewhere where you live in North America. Fuck no, man. You gotta buy shit. Yeah. Here's another thing. Steak is extremely expensive. But steak, the real good steak, like down in Central South America, it's inexpensive. Why would you be eating it?
Let's make that perfectly clear. I don't morally judge any of you for eating a cow either. For me, this is purely a health-based thing, which also includes my lifting career. My lifting is a big part of my life. Okay, it's an enormous part of my life. It's part of my lifestyle. My income is built all around coaching, social media outreach, all those things. This is how I make my living.
This is how he makes his living, coaching and social media and whatever. That's baloney, man. He's on disability. He's mentioned in his videos. What's he talking about?
So I have a vested interest in getting this correct. So when I have looked through the research, I have concluded a whole foods plant-based diet.
You don't need research to tell you anything. What you need to do is go on your own experience, and then you find the answers when it doesn't work for you, or if it does work for you, you find out the answers. If it's working for you and you're not dissolving and deteriorating, then you go find the answers. Why is that? And then if it isn't working for you, then you find out the answers why it's not working for you. That's the whole point. Yeah. You understand me? That's why vegan people, they become dysfunctional. And what do? They move carnivore diet, and then they become functional.
Doesn't even always mean it has to be 100%. I think for most people, most of the health benefits can be obtained at around that 90% mark. Okay, I am going a little further.
There are no health benefits to carnivores to eat plants. There's no health benefits for us carnivores to eat plants. That's all. There isn't any.
Purely because I want to see how it affects my psoriasis and my Meniere's disease. That's it.
He wants to see how it affects his. What was that other disease? Pirate disease or something? And he said his psoriasis. Well, he's got all kinds of diseases because he eats unnatural food. You're breaking the laws of nature, and that's what's causing it. He can't stop eating these foods. Man, he's crazy. He could experiment by going pure carnivore to find out, but he doesn't want to because he's stubborn, and he can't afford to anyways, because his disability doesn't give him the affordability to do that. That's why in his food basket, he eats unnatural food, which is the cause of his problems, his health problems.
And I'm going to run that experiment.
I'll tell you this. It is more expensive to be unhealthy than it costs to be healthy in America. It outweighs that. It is better for you to spend your money to be healthy than to become unhealthy, because you're going to find out very quickly how expensive that can be to be unhealthy in America. Very quick.
For a while and assess it. But when it comes to the data, the data is very, very clear. The only research that suggests anything inferior for body composition as the modern research has been one meta-analysis that showed there's a slight bias towards animal protein, although maybe not statistically significant, for people who do not lift weights, one on very high protein diets. But they did note that the ratio of the percentage of lean mass gain was slightly higher also. All right, when that same study has looked at people who lift weights, there is no difference. When you go look at all the meta-analysis.
Man, I posted a lady, she's an athlete, she ate plants. And it destroyed her athleticism. But when she went carnivore, high-fat carnivore diet, her athleticism took off. She's number one in the world in, I think it's CrossFit. Yeah.
That look at the muscle growth based upon protein intakes, and they have concluded consistently that muscle growth caps out for everybody, including bodybuilders, strength athletes, everyone else. We're talking very serious lifters. In the lab, it seems to cap out at around 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight, and it has been noted.
He's making that up. They already debunked that stuff, man. That's not true.
That protein source is largely irrelevant, meaning whether it was soy, pea, beef, or...
As a serious lifter, you want to shut down the catabolic hormone, which is responsible for the breakdown of proteins, so you can start building them up. That's how it works. Yeah.
Dairy doesn't seem to be a factor there. That is where the muscle growth starts capping. Interestingly enough, some of the studies that found that it capped lower, it's been speculated maybe that's due to the animal versus plant protein. So here's the thing, guys. For someone like me, my muscle...
It's because plants are anti-nutrient. They have poisons in them. If they're poisonous, they're anti-nutrient.
Growth is going to cap at around 150 grams of protein, irrespective of the source. Okay, this is what the best research is showing. This is what the best research is showing. And again,
nutrients are associated with health. If you're lacking in nutrients, you will lack in health. It's really simple. Yeah.
Come over to that any of the studies that have found a difference, it has only been in non-lifters. In other words, people who do not work out. But there's a point where you go, if you're not lifting weights, you don't care about muscle that much anyways, obviously. So it seems almost a moot point, although they're looking at, hey, sarcopenia and stuff in aging populations who don't work out, because that's a concern. The same thing, people will come in and they'll say, oh, they're incomplete proteins, but that's not true. Again, what
Again, they're not aging, they're deteriorating faster than they're aging because they're eating an unnatural diet. If you eat an unnatural diet, okay, full with toxins and poisons and whatever in there, and they're anti-nutrient, then you will deteriorate faster than you're aging. That's why they say, he says the aging population and all that. You know, they're not lifting weights or something, like they need to lift weights or something. You do not need to lift weights because it's not associated with health. What is associated with health is what you put in your mouth. Yeah. Because I don't know how many nutrients a piece of metal has lifting off the floor, how many nutrients it carries. Zero.
Notice when people come and link data on this stuff, all these different things, they're stuck in the 1970s, maybe the 80s.
They're stuck in the 70s and the 80s and even in the past. Yeah, we were healthier in the past. We've become much more unhealthy now than we've ever become. Yes. That's why the whole system's way down. The health system is so way down. The drug industry is like, man, they're through the roof, bro, giving you drugs all day.
I feel like whenever people want to link data or discuss anything and they start listing studies, listing books, everything is from the 70s and 80s.
Look at dentistry. They're almost on every block. When I walk down my street, there's a dentist office opening up everywhere. There's like I'd say within like less than, I don't know, 20, I don't know, man, 20 yards, there's like a fucking, there's a dentistry office. Yeah, it's crazy. Less than 20 meters. Less than 20 meters apart, there's a dentist office. And there's a doctor's office and a pharmacy on just about every block. It's insane.
I mean, these same people want to discuss Ansel Keys still. Is the Seven Nation Studies by Ansel Keys even a relevant topic in the 90s? Oh, wait, it's not even the 90s. We're in 2024. Okay. Let me re-ask the question. By the late 90s, was the Ansel Keys study really significant for government or nutrition policies anymore?
I don't know. Isn't that when McDonald's stopped using beef tallow and what was it? Lard? They stopped using lard, and then their stock plummeted because they started using seed oils, cheap stuff. That also affected people's health. That's why McDonald's tastes like shit right now. I don't like McDonald's. When I was a kid in the 70s, it was okay in the 80s, but after 1990, when they stopped using beef tallow and, this stuff, especially up here in Canada, oh my God, they completely stopped. There's some places still in the US, I think they still use like lard and beef tallow in McDonald's. That's what makes it so tasty. But now with the seed oil, can you imagine seed oils? Can you imagine like cooking your meat in seed oils or your potato chips, whatever the fuck, bro? It tastes like shit. Seed oil. It's disgusting. It's gross. The smell and everything. The taste. Yuck.
I mean, we're in the late 90s already, guys.
And like I said, it's extremely bad for your health. Never mind just the taste. Our problem is we go too much with taste, but it's just health. It's just probably it's a I don't know. It's an instinctual thing, man. When you smell and the taste and you smell it, you know it's bad for you because it's seed oil. It's not animal based.
Why are we still talking about the Ansel Keys study? This is what people were saying in 98. Jump forward another 26, 27 years. Are we still talking about this? Why are people stuck in 1972? I'm 47. That was before I was born, guys.
Well, you must be a puppy then, because I was there. I was there.
Nutritional science didn't end in the 70s. They've continued to study it all.
I could tell you, people were a lot more healthier still in the 70s. Not entirely, but they were a lot more healthier. But they did smoke a lot. That's one thing that I think one thing North America did what they did was good was ban smoking on airlines, streetcars, buses. God, man, I couldn't stand these people smoking everywhere. My job, they used to smoke like chimneys. I used to go home, I smelled like a cigarette for days. My hair, couldn't wash it out, my hair. It was disgusting, man. People, the amount of smoking people used to do in the past. Was that a health benefit? Absolutely not. I think that was definitely a major turn when the government, banned all this cigarette shit. It's garbage.
Wait till you know what? There's nutrition science studies being done right now, in 2024. I know it's hard to believe.
I can't say for sure how health things change. Instead of smoking, they moved vegan. So instead of smoking destroying their health, they moved to eating more of these toxic, poisonous plants and destroy their health like that. I can't tell you, man. It's always shifting. It's always shifting. The humans are crazy, and now they have like marijuana shops opening everywhere. That can't be healthy. Do you think that's healthy? Smoking and eating and doing these weird things, marijuana shops all day? Come on.
And guess what? We have better food. We have computers now.
Yeah, we have computers, but guess what? Did we ever get any smarter? No. We got a lot stupider.
Yeah, we have these things called computers. You may be watching me on one. I'm recording on one. Right, we have these things called computers. We can actually do better computations and take better measurements than we could in 1972.
Not if the information is falsified. You can't. Humans falsify stuff because that's their nature. Yeah, profit.
Regarding amino acid profiles and muscle growth and stuff happening in the liver, right? And the computers can actually process. They do this magical thing called math, right? They do it really, really well.
Well, man, this guy's funny. Hey, they process these. They do these mathematical things. Do they fix your health too, Blaha? Do they fix your health? Do they eat the food for you as well?
And calculate stuff.
Calculate stuff, yeah.
It's like witchcraft. It's magic. So,
Yeah,
due to the
it's witchcraft. It's magic, bro. It's just magic. Wave the magic wand.
modern age, we've learned a few things.
Well, what did we learn?
Part of which
Yes, what did we learn, Blaha?
is plant proteins are actually complete. They may not always have the best ratios.
No, they're not. You want to know what we learned? Absolutely nothing. We're still eating poisonous, fucking toxic foods, bro, and destroying ourselves. Like I said, if it's not for the government that stepped in to stop the smoking shit, they're not going to stop this.
BFAs, but they're still present in significant amounts. And the thing that we come over to, if you eat enough protein, this is not my opinion, this is what the studies are showing. For people who
Maybe it's because the health industry they can't treat smokers, but the amount of different diseases that you get from eating plants, oh, that's business. That's money in the bank because they gotta develop drugs to give you for these for these different varieties of diseases that you're suffering from plants. Yeah. I would call that like a DNA damage. A disease to me, personally, is DNA damage. You've damaged something in your DNA, and something pops out. You call it a disease. I think to me personally, it's a malfunction. It's a malfunction in the DNA, and they're going to treat it now with a drug. Yeah, with plant drugs. Great.
lift weights, once you reach a certain protein threshold, it doesn't matter whether you're getting it from whey or soy at
It doesn't matter. Yeah, man. Of course, yeah.
this point. It's irrelevant. Muscle growth cap.
Oh, it's relevant.
That's it. It stops adding any additional anabolic effect.
The problem is plants may have proteins in them, but they also have poisons in them, and you're eating them. That's right.
In humans, okay? Because at the end of the day, no matter what ratios you're talking about, if you say this one protein might be slightly low in valine or leucine compared to most other proteins, at the end of the day,
Again, the difference between a plant protein and an animal protein is animals are natural, and these plants they're engineered, and they have poison in them. So they may have proteins in them, but they have poison in them. Now, meat products have no poison or sugar in them.
once a number is reached, it doesn't matter. So the point being, people who are going to do plant-based diets, yes, you have to focus on protein. right? You will have to focus very much on protein, so that makes it more difficult. You really got to count it.
Yes, Blaha. Yes.
Unlike an animal-based diet, I mean, anyone who's throwing in a pound of meat every day can just ignore their protein intake and just track calories at that point, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. If you're getting, your protein from plants, you're going to actually have to track your protein. If you want to maximize muscle growth, that's the big difference. So it's harder because you have to count. So that does make it more difficult. That's why I say it is harder. You have to actually do some addition. Fortunately, we have all these little computers in our pockets that let us do this. Amazing. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you.
Yes, it's been misinformative. I don't know like where he comes up with this stuff. He never produced any proof of what he said truly. You know what I mean? Even on experiences, other people's experiences, but I can. I'll see you in the next one. So think about that. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends. Yes, our vegan slave here. He is a vegan slave.